everyone. My name is Eric Contreras, and you're watching the second episode of Hot Shoes. So I'm the director of Runners Plus and RunnersPlus.com, and we're here today just to talk about running in general. We're going to talk about some hot new shoes, and we're going to eat some hot wings. And that's really the premise of what we're doing. Our guest today is runner extraordinaire and our on rep, Blake Wysocki.
Hello, hello. Happy to be here.
So we've got wings from Bennett's, which is a local, it's called a Publical, Bennett's Publical in Miamisburg. So it's the same town where I live in. They make good wings. They have 15 different sauces. So we picked 4 of them that are going to be a little bit on the hotter end, and so we'll try those, see how they work. The first one is called Trifecta, and of the 4 that we brought in, this is the least spicy.
Okay.
So if this one's hot, you're in trouble. We should be okay. I smelled it earlier. I think we'll be all right.
All right.
But go ahead and actually, before we dig in, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself?
All right. Yeah. So my name is Blake. I'm what's called a tech rep for On. So I've been a runner for about 20 years of my life. I've been working for On about 4 years. Grew up in Toledo, Ohio, and have lived in Ohio majority of my life. Moved to Portland a while back and started it On out there, and then moved back a couple of years to be the tech rep. So it's been a fun journey, and it's been fun to be back in my homeland and see the brand grow and help get people in shoes. So.
All right. Well, go ahead and dig in. Let's try this one first.
Let's do it. Easy. Very easy. I like it.
So it's called Trifecta. So I'm assuming there are 3 things on here. Looks like maybe garlic,
definitely got some
honey.
garlic. That's good. Sweet.
Yep.
A little hot.
So, how did you first get into running?
Yeah. Well, I have an older brother named Jeremy, who was a pretty successful runner in high school, and you know, my parents were big advocates of trying every sport growing up. I was very little, very unathletic. You know, tried soccer, baseball, football, and then I tried track in 5th grade. It just kind of came naturally, you know, being a very small, unathletic kid. It was something that I can kind of work towards and getting better. So started running track in grade school in 5th and 6th grade, and kind of progressed from there into high school, started getting into the distance scene, and had some success there. But it was kind of like a last effort to find something that I'm relatively okay at. So it was kind of just a funny thing that kind of worked out, but definitely, you know, seeing my older brothers compete and have some success, it was something that kind of came naturally. So, yeah.
I was a soccer reject. So I thought I was good at soccer, but I wasn't that good. And so I got cut from the soccer team twice in high school, ended up doing track and cross country. So if I hadn't gone into track and cross country, I would have been a soccer player. What about you? What sport would you, if you could pick any sport that you could be good at that wasn't running related, what would you pick?
In high school, definitely football, because I feel like the football guys were the cool kids, right? They got all the girls, they went to the parties, they were kind of the very popular, cool kids. So I did have some fun times in 5th, 6th, and 7th grade when I played football. I was a safety. They actually had a play named after me called the Wysocki 5-2, where the safety came in and blitzed the quarterback. So it was super fun. I love football. Obviously, being in Ohio, I'm a big Ohio State Buckeyes fan, but definitely football would have been my sport if I could choose.
I don't think I knew you had played football. It's hard for me to picture.
I was very tiny. I was not very good. I sometimes, you know, it was 4th quarter and they forgot to put me in, and so it was like a rule that you had to play like at least a couple plays. So they would always see me on the sidelines the last couple minutes, like, get in there, hurry up. But yeah, I was not very good at all. Yeah.
Well, learn something new every day, but at least you got into running and found some good success in
For sure, yeah.
Awesome. Well, was this spicy, scale 1 to 10?
Scale 1 to 10. I would say 1.5.
All right.
Yeah, it was definitely a little bit more sweet. I think the honey, the garlic kind of kicked it off. A little bit of aftertaste with the spice, but 1.5.
We'll ramp it up from here. We'll get ready for the next one.
Heck yeah. I'm going to finish this.
All right, so we're moving on to the second wing out of the 4 we have. This one is honey sriracha, so it sounds like it's going to be a bit hotter. So we'll go ahead and dig in and see what you think.
The honey's good.
A little bit of heat, not too much.
Not too much.
Got my hands all wing sauce on them though. So what I want to talk about next, I want to talk about this shoe.
Yeah.
So this is the new On Cloudmonster Hyper. So tell me a bit about the background on this shoe and what makes it special.
Yeah, so this shoe's got a really cool story. Basically was developed with our OAC team on Athletics Club as a way to kind of bring that super shoe sensation to a daily trainer. And so those guys and girls in Boulder, Colorado were testing and developing with our Lightning product team to come up with a performance trainer that ultimately was developed to be the Monster Hyper. And so essentially they wanted that P-back sensation of a super shoe in a daily trainer for recovery runs. So the tagline behind the Monster Hyper is fresh legs equals fast legs. And so it's got a good combination of our performance pinnacle racing products, like the Cloud Boom Echo with more of a woven mesh upper, and our Helion Hyper Foam. That is a P-back blend, so it gives you that kind of super shoe sensation underfoot while kind of incorporating some aspects of a daily trainer. So it's kind of a performance trainer, a mashup of both worlds there. So
cool. So what was your first sensation when you put it on?
First thing I felt was just the very light and pillowness of a P-back foam in the midfoot. And so as I walked and ran in the shoe, it just kind of ultimately had a nice transition to that heel to toe and then had a really nice bounce to it. And so it doesn't have a speed board or any type of plate, which I think is nice to have that kind of pop sensation without a carbon fiber plate or something like that. And so ultimately it just felt really squishy, really soft, really light and responsive.
So it's the Cloudmonster Hyper, which begs the question, what's the difference between the Cloudmonster and the Cloudmonster Hyper?
Yeah, great question. Monster 2 is essentially our typical daily trainer. It's pretty versatile. It's got a nice energetic forward rolling sensation to it. It does have our Helion Super Foam, whereas the Monster Hyper has that Hyper Foam P-backs blend without a speed board. So it's kind of got a little bit of that trainer sensation feel, but it's kind of, again, mixed with that super shoe sensation. And so main difference is, if you're looking to run fast, run long, this shoe is great for long run workouts, stuff where you want to go a little bit quicker, whereas the Monster 2 is more of those everyday, easy miles, long runs, daily training type.
So if I'm not mistaken, I think this is the second of the recent On shoes that does not have a speed board. Is that right? Or which shoes have a speed board, and why do some have them and some don't?
Great question. Yeah, so the Surfer was the first shoe that we released last spring without a speed board. Essentially what we're doing as a brand is offering different sensations underfoot with what Cloud Tech was originally with, a midsole with those cloud element cavities with a speed board on top of that, giving you that soft landing and firm takeoff. And now we're kind of growing as a brand and seeing what has been working in the industry. The speed board is still going to play a big role in our energetic forward rolling sensation, like the Monster 2, the Stratus, the Flow. Shoes that offer that effortless, natural sensation like the Surfer, the Cloud Eclipse, do not have a speed board. The new Cloud Runner doesn't have a speed board. So we're kind of picking and choosing where we use it, and shoes that it makes sense, like the energetic sensation type shoes. We want to keep that kind of Cloud Tech traditional style with a speed board in it, but shoes like the Monster Hyper where we can kind of give that energetic sensation without that plate, something we can offer too. So as we grow as a brand, there's going to be all sorts of different iterations, technologies with what Cloud Tech phase can be, and if it doesn't have a speed board, if it does, some shoes also have a smaller version of a speed board, so there's many variations of who On is.
Sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great rundown. We will go on to the third of the four wings next, and see if we can ramp that spice up a little bit more.
Let's do it.
Excellent. Love it. Love the Cloudmonster Hyper. We're excited to have it here at Runners Plus and get it on people's feet and see what the reaction is. All right, we're moving on to wing number 3. This is Hot Garlic. So this is the second hottest wing that is on the menu at Bennett's. So we should be ramping up with this one. So dig in, and I'll ask you some trivia questions about On this time.
All right, sounds good. We're getting hotter. That's for sure.
All right, so we're going to ask a couple of trivia questions. First one, when was On founded?
Good question. On was founded in the year 2010.
All right, that was the easy one.
Yeah.
All right, so who were the 3 original founders for On?
3 original founders of On were Oliver Bernhardt, Casper, and Mark.
Was it Mark or David?
Oh, I think it is David. Yeah, Mark
David
came on
Alleman?
later. David, yeah.
So have you ever met Roger Federer?
I have not. I have not met Roger Federer yet. I would love to. Soon, hopefully.
And do you have to play tennis to work for On?
Absolutely. You must play tennis at least 2 hours a week. No, you don't have to play tennis, but you do have to play pickleball.
All right, Blake. We are on to our last wing. This one is called Toxic Waste, and it smells pretty hot.
Okay.
So we're going to go into this one, ask you a couple final questions, and we'll wrap it up. But I just want to say I appreciate you being here, and hope you enjoy the wings.
All right, let's do it. Cheers. And we're talking.
That's hotter.
Yep.
Oh boy.
That is hot. Spicy.
I'm feeling it.
That's good.
Okay, so I asked you earlier, if you weren't a runner, what sport would you play? If you weren't working for On, what other company would you work for that's a running company?
That's a running company?
Uh-huh.
Man.
Make it a tough one.
Put me on the spot. You know, I really like Diadora. I think they're pretty unique. They got some sweet lifestyle stuff. I feel like they're another brand that really play into that, you know, trendy, fashionable play. And shoes just feel good. You know, everything I've tried from Diadora is pretty solid. Kind of slept on a little bit, so Diadora it is.
All right. So we've had some hot wings. Do you typically eat spicy food or not?
I do like a little spice. I don't think I would go to the extreme of, what was this called again?
Toxic waste.
Toxic waste. No, I'm a mild buffalo, pretty simple spice guy, but spicy.
Okay. Yeah, I'm feeling it a little bit more.
Yeah.
We've got the Paris Olympics coming up in the summer.
We do, yeah.
What On athletes are you most excited about, or what about the Olympics are you most excited to see?
Oh man, it's going to be a huge year for us. You know, I think with the success of Indoor Worlds, with George Beamish out in New Zealand bringing home the gold medal in the 1500, and of course here at Nagoose in the 3K bringing home silver, I think it's going to be really exciting to see those guys and girls in the OIC compete, as well as Helena Berry. So Helena Berry, you know, former Boston, New York champ last year, heading into Boston this weekend. I think she's got a good shot at bringing home a medal if she's selected for the Kenyan team for the marathon. So really excited for this year, Paris Olympics. Hopefully it'll be a big year for On. Hopefully we can bring home some medals. So
sounds good. Well, hey, cheers. Appreciate you being here, Blake.
Thanks, Eric. That was spicy.
It was.